We are live. Welcome, Tasha Antell. Thanks for being on the Just Grow podcast.
Thank you, Nico. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, I think about like when I met people, when I bring them on, and I was thinking back to this, and I don't recall exactly, but it was like, I think we met online or something, but then we got on a call quickly after that. And then I feel like there was a bit of a gap, and then we saw each other at an event. I think I came to one of your events, which was
Yeah.
great. And then there was another gap, and then we saw each other at um, Sneaky Big,
Yeah.
and then there was another gap, and then we saw each other at AZE, and then we're like, all right, I think it's time that we like get on a call, talk a little bit further, and now here we are.
I love it. Yeah. It's always fun running into you at all the different events.
Yeah. Well, cool, Tasha. Why not? Like I mentioned, I always love getting into how people got into entrepreneurship. Like we talk a lot about the journey of you know the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. And yeah, why don't you share with us a little bit more about what got you into entrepreneurship?
Well, I had been a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and found myself in a position where I was needing to prepare myself that I might end up being a single mom.
Mm,
And so I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. I went on a lot of job interviews. I got the jobs, but they were offering me like $17, $18 an hour because I'd put off college. I was still, in school at the time. And I had someone ask me if I knew of someone that would be willing to clean their house because they were moving. And I said, well, I'll do it. And she said, you're going to clean my house? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And so I went and I worked 3 hours and I made $300. And I fed my kids that week.
mm,
And I was like, okay. And then the next day I found a job on Facebook Marketplace and I, went after it and they hired me and I went and cleaned their house and I made another $250 for like 3 hours worth of work. And I was like, okay, I'm onto something. And
yeah,
so I came home immediately and started going through what name I wanted to name this cleaning company. And I came up with Olive Cleaning Co. And for me, my faith is very important to me. And knowing why I was going to be building this, I thought of Noah. And when he sent off the dove brought back olive branches, and it was a sign of life and hope. And so that was why I named my company that.
mm,
And super excited to say, as of next month, I'm going to be fully exiting the company that started it all. And so it's bittersweet for me. Since then, I've been part of other companies, helped them scale, grow, and sold. And I have found that I have not only a knack, but a passion for business.
mm,
I absolutely love working with entrepreneurs and helping them find gaps and holes in their businesses, help them to fill it and see how much potential they have when they just learn that sometimes they're in their own way. And so entrepreneurship has been such an exciting ride and such a huge passion of mine. But it started out as needing to take care of my kids.
wow. What year was that?
That was 2019,
Okay, wow.
not too long ago.
That's not too long ago.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's I mean,
you.
it's interesting because like when our backs are against the wall, that's when we usually figure things out. And
Absolutely.
that sounds really cool when you're out of it. I was having this conversation with somebody who was like, growth just in general. Like it's really cool. It's a great Instagram quote, but like when you're in it, it's like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Oh, let me tell you. I mean, I was the only one cleaning houses for a while. And so I was working 12 to 17-hour days. And people love your housekeepers because it is not easy work. I mean, I would come home aching and tired and exhausted. Um, but I still had so much gratitude for a new day and a new opportunity. And it was amazing how those 12-hour days turned into 8-hour days, turned into 6-hour days, turned into having an entire team running the business for me. And yeah, it's just been a huge blessing. But it was a lot of grinding. Like people see where it is now, but they didn't see the beginning part where I'm like, in a bathtub crying because I'm cleaning who knows what and my hands are killing me. And
Mm.
that's the grind that entrepreneurs they don't talk about.
Yeah. So tell us where it went from there. So you started cleaning houses, you started building a team.
Yeah.
Was it then you did you start another company soon after that while you were still in that company? Obviously, like now you're exiting.
Yeah.
So what did that look like after? Because you've started and you've been a part of multiple businesses, right?
Yeah. So it started out being brought on as a business development manager, helping a company to scale to the next level. They gave me a year to do it. I did it in 4 months and then exited.
Mm,
And since then, I've started a jujitsu company called Pohada USA. So merch and healthy gear and mental health is incredibly important. It's something we focus on with that.
mm.
I started a chemical company. It's a hypochlorous acid company. It is USDA certified organic. We are about ready to launch on that. I'm super excited about it. I do merchant services. I have an IT company
Wow.
and cleaning company. I'm involved in a lot of things. Diversification is a beautiful thing to me.
How you like a lot of these are very niche too. So even like jujitsu, like my mind is like,
Yeah.
how did you get into that?
So I had a wonderful friend who had this business idea and he tried to partner with someone. They weren't ready and that was okay. And he said, I don't know if I can do it. And I was like, you can do this.
Mm,
And he asked me to partner with him. And so he brought me in because in my circle, I'm lovingly known as the connector. And I started connecting him with different people and different opportunities. And it's been really fun to watch grow and scale. And we are just barely getting started. We um, we got our contract with Origin, so we have Origin Bees, which if anyone knows Origin, they are really hard to get into, and they are like top tier. And so it's been little things like that that have been awesome wins, but it's the idea of promoting health and mental wellness and a really, really cool sport. So have you ever done jujitsu?
I have. I got wrecked.
Yeah, I was just wrestling my 15-year-old son the other night because I had to show him, mom can take care of business, and my knee completely slid over and then popped back, and I was like, yeah, that's not gonna feel good in a couple of days. So, but it is a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun growing that kind of business.
Wow. Well, you mentioned a couple things there. You said, it came to you and you said something about not being ready. W- How do you determine that? Like what, and then you were like, I think you can do this. I believe in you,
Yeah,
which I think that just from my limited perspective of you is I feel like that's something that's like, I don't necessarily like, I don't know whether it's a gift or it's just something that you like really care about people, but like I could even tell that from like how you speak to me and how you like speak about what we're creating as well. And I just think it's so powerful to have, I was telling you a story about Craig, our partner, and how he is just like a constant source of belief in me. And I have a really great friend. His name's Jake, who's been such an advocate of me and what we've created. And it's like, I don't know where I would be without people like that. And I'd have to say, like, just on the soft skills side of things, like that's probably where you shine really well. And I'd love to just bring that back even more to like a technical question too, of like what makes someone ready for business and you being ready to partner with some or them partnering with anybody.
yeah. So the truth is, are any of us ever completely ready for business? I don't think so. So to say I'll do this when I'm ready or I'll start this business when I'm ready, you're never going to be ready. So you have to do it. And sometimes it's taking the step without knowing what the next step is. But that's how growth happens is when you decide to take that step without knowing where it's going to lead or what it's going to go, but knowing that no matter what, I'm going to keep taking the next step. But I love surrounding myself with people that one, think bigger than I do. So I try to be that for other people. And the world is full of crabs. And I love saying this because if you think of a crab trap, when crabs get stuck and the crab finally starts to get out, the other crabs are going to pull it down. It's
Yep.
not because they want it to die. It's not because they want it to be captured. It's their nature. And same as human nature. I mean, if someone sees you starting to do something that doesn't look secure, like I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go start this business, people in your life, not meaning to be, but they're going to be crabs and they're going to pull you down because they want you to feel safe to them. And it takes a big leap of faith, and it takes surrounding yourself with people that think bigger and dream bigger and have faith in you and encourage you to be your best self. They say your network is your net worth, and that's not just relating to money. If you surround yourself with people that dream bigger and inspire you, that's net worth right there. That's
Mm,
amazing.
yeah. Click on that. I I remember, I mean, it comes up a lot, but recently I was talking to somebody and I was like deeply inspired by them and who they were and what they were creating. And then vice versa, even before I probably voiced that, they said the same about me. And I was like, I feel like that's success right there. That's like a piece of my success because everyone has their own definitions and formulas of success. But it's like to just be in an environment where you're not only inspired, but the people around you are inspired by you, and it's very, like, symbiotic.
Yeah.
That just seems like that's such a win in my books.
Yeah. It's been one of the hardest lessons in life is surrounding yourself with people that encourage you and trusting people when they show you who they are.
Yep.
So that's rough because you want to have faith and you want to believe that everybody's good. And it's not to say they're not good, but there are some people that you just can't be around during that part of your journey, and that has to be okay. It's been a hard lesson.
Yeah. I heard that a while back when when people show you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it didn't feel good. And there's a song lyric that really resonates with me. It said that, "The truth didn't hurt until I knew what it was." And it's part of life. I do believe that everyone is doing the best that they can with what they've got, and at the same time, that doesn't mean you have to submit yourself to things that are not serving you, and it's not even like and this is a big lesson that I get to continue to learn. It's like, it's not that people are bad or, like, someone's right and someone's wrong, it's just like, is it aligned?
Aligned. Yeah.
And it's quite interesting as I grow in my journey is that I'm pretty sensitive to a lot of things, and I think that's like one of my gifts too because I can feel and I can notice when things are like on and when they're not. My learning has been like when I do recognize that, then stepping away and having the strong boundaries in that. And it's interesting. I've been doing this recently. It's a game changer, but I'll basically do a daily reflection inside of one of my Google dashboard, or excuse me, Notion dashboards, and it stores everything in my Notion dash. It's really cool. But anyway, so I take all my daily reflections and I do a weekly reflection. So I copy all my daily reflections, I throw it into ChatGPT, and I do like kind of an analysis and say like, what patterns are you seeing? What are my blind spots? Like, just give me a full like what's going well, what can be improved, and I just did it last night, again, getting ready for this week, and it just said it was pretty damn clear. It was saying that misaligned relationships are like one of your biggest the thing that's gonna pull you down the quickest, and I would have to think that would be the same for a lot of people.
Yeah. For sure. Not an easy part of life, but an important one, especially in business too. I mean, there was a while there where I treated all my employees like family, and don't get me wrong, I love them. I really do. Um, but you tolerate more from family than you do a championship team. And so when people show you who they are, you trust them. And that's also been a very costly lesson for me in business.
Yeah. It's like having it's oh, what's the quote? It's because I get this sense from you too, like you have a very soft heart. And soft heart without strong boundaries is a recipe for disaster. Because it's a great thing to like again, like we talked about, I think like one of your gifts and one of your assets is like that caring nature to you. But if an open heart is just like going all around the place and get stomped on, like that's not good. And it like
Yeah.
obviously, yeah. So that yeah, that quote really hit hard when I
Definitely agree with that. I, you know, becoming a single mom,
mm,
that journey, that process of getting there, boundaries are a beautiful thing. And they don't mean that you don't love or respect the other person. It just means that you love and respect yourself.
yeah, so I mean, like maybe even dive a little bit deeper on that is if someone is having challenges, where you used to be on setting boundaries, what would you say to them?
Challenges with relationships or
Let's do
work,
business.
business.
Yeah.
Well, I think that if they are having trouble setting those boundaries, then they may not understand what their goals are.
Mm,
And so I would say that if they can establish strongly what their goals are and they put their sights on achieving those goals, then creating those boundaries are going to be a lot easier. A long time ago when I first got started, I was living in survival. And I mean, heavens, lots of business owners, single parents, married parents, it doesn't matter, just business owners in general, they sometimes survive in survival mode. And it wasn't until I started thinking abundantly and being focused on what my goals were in business that boundaries became a lot easier. And if they weren't in alignment with where I was going or what I needed to do, then I took care of them. And sometimes that meant letting people go that I absolutely cared about. Sometimes that meant firing a client that was bringing in a lot of money, but that 80-20 rule where there were 20% of my business taking up 80% of my time,
mm.
and really learning how to operate efficiently in business. Um, those kind of things, those kind of boundaries become a lot easier.
I heard a quote too. The quotes are flowing through me today.
I love
Uh,
that.
Most people are not where they want to be because they're saying yes to the wrong money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, which just kind of correlates exactly what we're talking about here is like saying yes to the wrong avenues.
For sure. I think
Um,
understanding, I always walk through, so I'll coach people in business, and it's one of my favorite things to do. And I'll tell them, let's evaluate your customer base right now. Who is your A, B, and C clients? And they'll tell me who their A clients are, but they're advertising to their C clients because it's quick money.
right.
And figuring out who your avatar in business and then redirecting who you're advertising to. Why would I advertise to C clients when they're not really who I want? It's like you said, it changes the game. It changes business, it changes goals, it changes momentum. That's been a very valuable tool working with people.
Mm, that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, coming back to goals, and then I want to dive into that the A, B, and C clients, which are you could even say that they're largely correlated. But it's like, what would you say to someone that is maybe a little foggy on their goals? And then I really want to dive into the A, B, and C clients, and how do you like clearly define who those people are or who those clients are, and then staying committed to advertising to those people.
Well, I mean, here's the perfect time for me to plug what you guys are doing here with Vision Espresso. You really help people figure out what their goals are. And I think when you can learn to get out of your own way, I mean, I can Google things in business and I can chat GPT just about anything, but I can't figure out how to get out of my own way. And so I really think that what you guys are doing here with Vision Espresso is a massive tool. Um, I can see it so relatable in business and in sports and in parenthood and in relationships. I think you guys really have a great formula helping people figure out what their goals should be. I think you did a great job.
Thank you. I mean, it's just like I love first principles. All right, what's that one decision that's going to unlock the next
Yeah,
1,000 decisions? And it's like I love bringing this metaphor because everyone can relate to it, especially nowadays. Like no one drives without their phone and their GPS on their phone.
yeah,
It's like if you're going somewhere, I mean, even if people know where they're going, they're still using GPS, and I'm guilty of that too.
yeah,
But it's like it correlates significantly to the conversation that we've already had because it's like if two people get in a car and one person's like, I want to go here, and the other person's like, well, actually, I want to go over here. It's not that either one of them are bad and they should fight or anything. It's just like there's a different goal, and there's no reason that they should stay in the same car. But it
yeah,
has to start like that because there's so many people out there, and I think it's just ever more evident with this day and age that we live in that's just constantly noisy and distracted
yeah,
that people are just like, let's just get in the car and drive.
yeah.
And then like ambitious people are like, let's drive fast.
But the funny thing is, whatever you're focused on, you're still going to turn into. So if you're looking at the beautiful waterfall over here by the guardrail, and instead of focusing on where you're going, you're still going to turn into that beautiful waterfall and crash because you're not focused on the right thing.
Yeah. It's really everything. And I think even the deeper reason to it as well, because it's like then there are people that go in, they set their goals, and that's great. But it's just like why? Like what's deeper beneath that? Because how many times have you talked to people, work with people, they have these goals and then they hit that goal and they're like, well, that's not really what I wanted.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely happened. And learning to reevaluate and adjust and okay, great, I've hit that goal. What's my next goal? And those little wins are important. It's important to evaluate, and set those little wins because they add up to be the big wins for sure.
I mean, I think it's what yeah, another quote coming.
I love it.
Long vision, small steps.
Yeah,
Because it's like, yes, if and this kind of comes back into what I talk about. It seems like it just keeps coming up more and more, but the woo and the do. It's not just like set the vision, set the goal, be internally aligned, spiritually connected. Just that. And it's also not just like, hey, what's the strategy? What's the KPIs? What's the plan of action? It's both.
yeah,
And so when we can combine the both, that's when I feel like magic really starts flowing. But you go on one side and you get burnt out if you just go do all the time. And then if you're just going woo all the time, then you're just hanging out by yourself and feeling really good, but your bank account usually suffers.
yeah, for sure.
And then uh what was the other thing I was gonna say to that? Anyways, I'm sure we'll come back to it. But yeah, let's dive into the A, B, and C clients.
Yeah, this is fun.
Tell me, d- how do you define your clients? So is it like you start working with people and you start working with anybody and everybody, and then you start finding your clients, or you clearly define your clients and then you start specifically working with those? Like, what would you say to that? Like, because I would imagine there's different stages too.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, when you first get started in business, at least for me, I took on whatever house I could. I took on whatever client commercial would, hire me, and and I would perform that contract and do the very best I could. But as I got better clients, I realized, okay, so this one I'm making twice as much and spending half the amount of time. And then I started really evaluating, okay, so the ones I'm really enjoying, the ones I'm doing well with, the ones that my margins are great with, what's the common denominator? And that brought me to really defining who my customer base was, whether they were A clients, B clients, or C clients. And when I got to a certain point, um, I decided to cut my C clients. Not
Mhm.
because I didn't love them, but because they just weren't part of the new plan. I mean, it's like with these beautiful trees, sometimes you have to cut them way back so they grow back stronger how they're supposed to. And so in business, I do think it's important that we prune our business every now and then. We cut out what's not working And we have these moments of reevaluation, whether it's quarterly or I personally run SWOT analysis on my business once a quarter
Mm,
and really evaluate what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And and I try and really cut out where my weaknesses are. Is it something I'm doing? I usually find that if something's wrong in the business, it's a leadership issue. It's not an employee issue. It's not something like that. And so I really take time to reevaluate and I prune my business often. Prune
mm.
the customer base that we have, prune our systems or our processes, what's not working, where are the holes at, and it's so important to reevaluate goals and the process, the progress. It's really helped create a very efficient running company, something that's thriving and doing very well.
We circled back to what I had intended. So cool how we just circulated. So it's like what I was gonna say is like coming back to the goals. It's not just a one-time thing where it's like, hey, that's the goal. Because like you get to I feel, and I heard this a long time ago and it really resonated. It was like with ambitious people or business owners or however you want to call them, is they'll set goals and then they'll hit those goals and then they won't set new goals and then they start fading
Yeah,
because then it's like what got you to the place that you wanted to go isn't what you're continuing to do. And so, as humans, we're so good at forgetting stuff. So we have to keep on reminding, resetting the goal. Because it's like, again, coming with the GPS metaphor, is like if you set the goal, you're going to Phoenix, Arizona. You get there, and then you're like, and you just keep driving around. You're
yeah,
like, oh, now I want to go to Flagstaff, or I want to go to Sedona, or whatever it is. And I just think like that's so important, and that's why like with Vision Espresso, I've made that definitely an ethos of mine, and I get to be the ultimate case study for the product, which I believe every CEO should be the case study of their product. But it's like I've done like 16, 15. I'm about to do my 16th one in the last 4.5 years of Vision Espresso because I do it once a quarter.
yeah,
And, coming back to the GPS metaphor too, it's like, okay, we set the goal and that's great, but what else does the GPS do? It constantly knows where your current location is. And if you don't have metric or you have eyes on that, then it's like, that's when it becomes a little bit more woo woo. We're like, that big vision, awesome. And then you're just like, you're not knowing where exactly you are. Like that creates problems too.
yeah. The vision, the goal, the end point, everyone should always start with the end in mind. And what's funny is using your GPS metaphor, we set a destination that we want to get to, and life is going to throw us detours and hardships and road closures. But what's funny is if you know where you're going, you find a way around the detours and you find a way over the obstacles. And it becomes this unconscious decision because you know what your goal is. And so just like the GPS, goals are that for life. You'll make the necessary adjustments because you know where you want to end up. And I really do. Goals are so very important. I set them not only, for business, but for finances, for my relationship, for my children, for my health. And I'm always reevaluating where am I at in this process?
Mhm.
And it's like, health, you get to where you want to be. Well, perfect. Now I'm going to set a new destination because now I have a new goal. Maybe it's not weight loss. Maybe now I'm going to get ripped or whatever it is. And so those reevaluations, they're just completely essential. And if you look at the habits of any millionaire or any successful entrepreneur, I guarantee you'll find this in their system. I mean, they finish one book, they start another. They have a routine, and I guarantee planning, strategic planning is part of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like success is success.
Yeah,
Like there's a formula to every, and I believe that everyone like finds out their own formula too. I mean, there's definitely like people use frameworks and stuff like that.
yeah,
It's just like if you find success in one thing, unless you're like completely unaware to like what's going on, you like tracked it. You like figured out your system, and then you're like, okay, let's direct that system over here so that we can get what we want. But again, everything starts with, what do I want?
The end in mind, for sure. Absolutely.
What inspires you right now?
Oh, I am very inspired by growth. I'm very inspired. I'm kind of always seeking out this. What's the word? Um, I can't even think of the word. It's where you're stepping into shoes that you're not sure you can fill. I can't think of the word right now. Not a good time not to remember the word. Um, but I'm always trying to do something I don't know how to do.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if I'm perfect for. Thank you. Imposter syndrome. I have a helper.
There it is.
I love imposter syndrome. I really do. I love being in a situation where I'm like, ooh, this is going to be challenging. How am I going to figure this out? If I start a new situation or a new goal and I'm like, oh, I can totally achieve that. It's not big enough. And
Hmm.
so I will say, I chase after that feeling of imposter syndrome. It lets me know that my goal is big enough to stretch me and help me grow. And I don't like when things come easy. I want to work for it. So I have been seeking after these opportunities where I'm like, can I really achieve this? And I have been. So it's pretty awesome.
Hmm. I don't think I've ever. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone explain it like that, where they're like chasing after imposter syndrome.
I do. I
Well, let's
love.
define it first. Like, what does imposter syndrome mean to you?
So imposter syndrome means that you're doing something that you don't know you're cut out to do, or you don't think you're fit to do. I mean, you look at, to go back biblically, like most of the people that were called to fulfill anything in the Bible, they weren't the perfect fit. There were probably other people that could have done it better, but he calls people that aren't quite there and helps them get there. And I really feel like in life, that's what my call is to do, is to reach bigger and to figure it out, and then to turn around and help somebody else through it. And so I also love that you haven't heard of it before, because it means that I'm being a little innovative.
Yeah, definitely.
But I I'm always I'm always trying to do something that I don't think I'm quite cut out for, or perfect for. And talk about a confidence booster too. When you close that first deal in a new company, or you hit a fitness goal, or you help your kid with his homework that you totally thought you forgot, 20 years ago, whatever it is, those little wins, they take away the imposter syndrome, and then it makes it feel like you can put your ceiling so much higher because you did something that you didn't think you could do.
Facts.
Yeah.
It's like I heard it before. It's called the Go Me campaign, and
Okay.
it's the same thing. Like what we've been talking about, like stacking the small wins, but how important that is, because
Yeah.
and especially acknowledging it. And that's what I've been doing a lot over the years with like daily reflections. Is they call it the after action review. I think it's based in the military, but it's like what went well and what could be improved.
Yeah.
I just do that every day because that keeps me in a space where it's like I don't, if things don't go as well as I want them to, I
Yeah.
can still have like a good outlook on it and also wanting to improve.
Yeah.
It's like when you start doing that, it starts training your mind to start looking for the good more and
Yeah.
more.
For sure.
But it's interesting too because something I'm noticing just through your story and what you're saying is like you're chasing imposter syndrome. You want to find things that you're not good at and you don't think that you can do, but like the fact that you are doing that and searching out is almost proven to you that you can do anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I think it's something like you say imposter syndrome, but I feel like you don't have it that as much because
No,
you're
it's
like I
kind
can
of
go
a
do
label. But I also think it's fun because the word in itself makes you feel like you can't do it.
mm,
I always joke, and I had a lot of naysayers. Um, I fought pretty hard to get to where I am. And I always joked that I was going to do it twice and take pictures. And it's my Forbes cover right there. So definitely got some pictures. And But I do. I love stretching and growing, and that's what this life is supposed to be. You're supposed to stretch and grow and do things that you once thought you couldn't, and that keeps me going. That's exciting to me. And I do the same for my kids too. When they tell me I don't think I can do this, we walk through it, we talk through it, and I help them see that we are the only ones that get in our own way. And so when we can learn to get out of our own way with our goals or whatever it is, anything is possible. And I truly believe that this life was created to achieve whatever you want. And there might be a formula, but I can tell you the biggest formula I can think of is just gratitude.
Mm.
It's always turned what I have into enough. And I still strive for more because we're built to do that. But I love where I am in every stage of every point of my life, even the points that were really hard. Uh, there was a point in time I was telling my husband that it went from Murphy's Law. Do you know Murphy's Law?
Yeah.
Yeah. If something can happen, it will happen. I had a very, very rough childhood, and um, into young adulthood, I thought that. And that I think turns into this victim mentality of why me? And it wasn't until I turned why me into why not, and what am I, instead of like why is this happening, turning it into what am I supposed to be learning from this situation,
Mm.
that obstacles became opportunities. And that was a huge paradigm shift for me. And I have a sign in the back in my office. It's what's the best that can happen.
Yeah.
So we don't think about it anymore. What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is not going for it, not starting that business, not taking that next step forward. That's the worst that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the best that can happen is you go for it. And more times than not, you're going to win. And the times you lose, you learn. So it's all like I think of life as a dance. It's you got to learn to love it. It's the cha cha. Sometimes it's two steps forward, one step back, but either way, I'm moving and grooving and loving it. And I
Mm-hmm.
really try and teach my children to love the dance.
Yeah, it's a constant ebb and flow. I think a dance is perfect way to describe life. And I think the expectation that it's anything but that is what creates more of the suffering. Of like thinking that it's supposed to be all sunshine and rainbows and just amazing all the time. And if that was the case, it would be like the part of the roller coaster where it just keeps going up. How boring would that be?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been a fun journey, and it's not even close to over. So much more to accomplish and achieve, and um, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
What are people saying at your funeral?
Okay, so I've had this conversation. First of all, I'm going to have something in my casket that after the slideshow, we play all the sappy love songs and the all the music and getting everyone crying because I think sometimes the way to people's soul is through their tear ducts. So there will be a clip that plays that is me knocking on the casket saying, "Hey, let me out," and they are going to say, "Yep, that was Tasha." Didn't take anything serious. Life is there's so much hard and there's so much that we could take serious. I try and do my best, but I don't take life too serious. You got to learn to laugh and enjoy the journey. And so they are going to be mad at me because I'm going to make them cry first because I love reaching everybody's souls, but then I'm going to make them laugh and they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's so Tasha.
Mm. Okay, one more question, and then we'll start closing this out. Really appreciate you being on today. What would you say to the person that does take life too seriously and has even had challenges with that? Like they know it like intellectually, but sometimes they just keep on like gripping on too tight.
So first thing I would say is start a gratitude journal. Um, it is very easy and human nature to focus on the bad. So let's start shifting your mindset. It's silly and it might be kind of gross, but put it in your bathroom. And every time you go sit in the bathroom, I want you to write down in your journal what you're grateful for.
Mm,
Whether it was I had all green lights to work, you have to train yourself to start seeing the good.
mm,
And when you have a gratitude journal, it forces you to do it. When you put it in your bathroom, instead of looking on your phone and getting caught up in comparison, because we know that is the thief of joy,
mm,
turn it to gratitude. And so start a gratitude journal. Write down the things that you're grateful for, something that made you smile, something that you did to make someone else smile. I love those. And start there. It doesn't have to be big. And when you find yourself in a situation, I think anxiety is caused by us trying to control the things that we truly don't have control over.
mm.
I also think it's caused by pouring from an empty cup. And so be be grateful. Write things down. And when you find yourself in a situation where you're feeling anxiety, it's not a bad thing. You're not wrong. It's not horrible. But talk yourself through it. Can I control this situation? And in 5 years, will this still matter? Tomorrow, will this still matter? And if it doesn't, then let it go. We we can't control everything. We can't control everyone. We can only control ourselves and our reactions to certain things. And so gratitude and just talking yourself through it and giving yourself grace because life is hard and it takes practice. And there's still some days where I have a hard time with things, but then it also goes into making sure your circle are the type of people that pull you from the trap instead of pull you down, because that
Mm.
matters too.
Yep. The people you surround yourself with, it makes a big difference. And when you're clear on where you're going, you're with your people more and they
And
can.
share that with them. The people around you should know what your goals are. They should know if you're working late. They should know why you're overthinking about a situation. They should know why you're quitting your job and going for your dreams. And if
Mm,
they know that and they love you and support you, they'll pull you up. They'll encourage you in those moments where you're having a hard time. So I think who you surround yourself is huge too.
yeah. Well, that's just one last quick thing just to share with you because I probably haven't shared this with you. But that's really the vision with our our community. It's a community of visionaries that not only are visionaries but know each other's visions. And so in the app, we're soon going to have a vision directory. And so everyone can go in there and look at other people's vision and know who they want to connect with and align with. Because that's something I'm realizing more is like the more that we have community and events and organization, like there's so much opportunity out there. And largely it's sometimes we can waste a lot of time like sifting through the right connections. But when we're clear on our vision and other people are clear on their vision and we're all around each other, we know which ones to connect with, it makes it a lot more efficient and fun process.
Yes. And watch when you surround yourself with those type of people, how they help you get to that destination quicker.
Mm,
Hey, I just heard that so and so needs this, and I know that you're doing that. It's a beautiful thing. I love what you're building. I think, and going through your process was very seamless, and I cried during it. And I think if your whys don't make you cry, they're not big enough. And what you just played for me, letting me hear myself tell myself that I made it, that I did it. It's a beautiful thing because we are our own worst enemies, and we are the ones that hold ourselves back. And so you've created a whole ecosystem here, and this really amazing product, really, that allows you to be the good voice inside your head. And I think it's beautiful. I will admit, when you were playing it for me, I looked up because I wanted to see if you saw me crying. But you had your eyes closed, so I was like, okay, we're good. But I did. I teared up because it's a beautiful thing what you're doing, and if people learn to implement what you're teaching here, man, what a difference you're going to make in people's lives.
Thank you, Tasha. I appreciate it. Just so you know that like we have a 60% cry rate, I think.
Well, I'm part of that statistic.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, cool, lady. I really appreciate you being on. This has been a very cup-filling conversation for me.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here. And where can people find you? Is there anything else, anything we can specifically look out for you that will support you in your journey, or any last words?
Come follow me. I'm on Facebook, Tasha Antell, and on Instagram, it's I am Tasha Antell. And I share my journey as I go. It's not perfect. It's kind of crazy, but I love every moment of it.
Amazing. Well, thanks for being on. And yeah, if you guys have not downloaded your vision quiz yet, make sure and go through there. It'll give you a prep start to all the Vision Espresso work, and you can be part of our school community as well. We do Friday connection calls with a bunch of amazing entrepreneurs. So appreciate y'all listening, and we'll see y'all next time.